Yo, what's up guys, Guido here, back again with another video, and in this video, this is the third part to the custom homemade mini bike how to build video series, and we are going to get straight into this video because we have a lot packed for this video, like maybe putting on the grips, the throttle linkage, maybe putting the motor in, smaller sprocket in the rear, header, everything. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video that will probably come out after this one. And like I said in all the other beginning of the video series, everything is linked in the description. So let's quickly get into this video because there's a lot jammed packed for it. So this is the valve cover, all nice and painted. It's still kind of tacky, so we're going to let it dry a little bit longer, and then we're going to go ahead and put it on there. My dad went and put the spark plug in there, so now we're just waiting for that to kind of dry, and then we're going to go and put it on there. Okay, so my dad just kind of went and drilled out this little spacer we bought, because you have to have a spacer on there with the brake setup that we're running for it to actually go and be centered perfectly. And these ones should work perfectly fine. We'll probably have to go and grind them down a little bit, and as you can see, he just went and drilled it out so it will actually go over the little axle bolt. And then once this is done, we should be able to go and kind of drill everything and put everything all together, and it should be centered pretty good. So right now my dad is tightening the spark plug in there so it will obviously be seated in there properly, and once that goes in there, then we're probably going to put the overhead valve cover back on. Okay, so right now my dad is putting the grip onto the actual throttle assembly part, so the throttle will actually slide over this with the grip on it. As you can see, he went and got this grip on the actual part that doesn't have any throttle assembly on it. It just goes on the actual handlebars, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so while he's putting on the grips with some water, I highly recommend using water or some sort of compressed air. It makes it way easier. I'm going to put on the brake rotor. It's pretty easy. As you can see, there's a little bit of a ridge right there, and then obviously this is not directional, so you can put it like this or like that, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just chose to put it on this side, and then I am going to go and screw some screws down into there. If you already have this mini bike, then you already know what type of screws I'm talking about, but they're little Allen head screws. But this, when you buy this, it doesn't come with any hardware. It's kind of like something you have to go and supply yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in there and then put some blue medium strength thread locker on it, and then it will be mint. Okay, so these are the little Allen head bolts that I'm going to be using, and they just simply go and screw in. It's super easy. I am going to be using some blue medium strength thread locker on all these, just a little bit, and then it will be on there really good, and I'll show you when I'm done. So I got it on there all nice and tight, so this is completely solid and ain't going anywhere now. Okay, so now my dad is putting the valve cover back on. He just went and put some blue medium strength thread locker on there, and now he is putting the bolts back in there, so the valve cover will be on there perfectly and securely, and then we will put the little spark plug wire back on the spark plug. Okay, so now we're kind of just sizing up everything, just putting the spacers in between there, and then we're going to put the brake, like actual mount piece on there, just kind of getting everything sized up so then we can see, you know, how the motor is aligned with it, and then we'll drop in the motor. Okay, so while my dad's working on the back piece, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of dummy up the brake system. I'm actually going to go ahead and just undo these two bolts here, and then kind of just dummy it up on the handle. Okay, so my dad just went and put the mount for the brake on there. Obviously it's like not tightened on there yet, but we have the mount right there, and then right now he is kind of just like routing where that is going to go through there, and then I also went and installed the brake lever on there as well. Okay, so right now my dad is mounting up the brakes to the actual brake mount, which we painted red, so it gives it that little sort of flare to it. It will make it look super nice. Anyways, right now he's just threading them into the actual brake assembly. It's pretty easy. I recommend you use blue Loctite, but if you want like a full review video or like how to install them, just look in the description below or click the top right, and you will see how to install these brakes. They sell them on Go Power Sports and studsracing.com. Like I've said from all my videos, I'll link everything in the description. We got these ones from Go Power Sports, but they are pretty similar to the Studs Racing's one, which are the ones I went and installed. Okay, so my dad just went and drilled out another spacer for the rear tire because we are still kind of trying to configure on how we want this setup to be, because as you see, it has to be lined up perfectly with this one, so that's why we have that spacer there. So now that is completely almost lined up. As you can see, the mounting bracket is kind of far away from it still, so we have to put some spacers and stuff in there, and then it should be lined perfectly, and then we'll be good. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just drop the motor on there and make sure everything's aligned, because we're going to put that on there and then also see if we need to mess with the alignment of that. Okay, so we just kind of went and laid the motor there to see, you know, what the alignment is of like how we're going to have this come over a little bit more, and also for the brake. But as you can see with the motor just sitting in it, this thing looks so sick. Okay, so we kind of got the alignment with the spacers in there pretty good now, at least that's what we think so far. But anyways, I was thinking, so when you buy this, it doesn't come with like any of the fenders or anything, but that's okay, my dad doesn't want that. But it doesn't come with like a base plate or anything on here. Like when you buy it, it comes with stickers and the base plates. But as you can see, my dad went and made his own little thing. But from when I went and bought mine a long time ago, we went and saved this little base plate thingy right here that goes on the front basically just to make it look cooler. And my dad was thinking that he wants to put this on there because then he can put stickers on there, then make it kind of look like a little cafe racer. At least that's what I think it would look like, and I think it would look pretty sweet with this. And obviously he wants to go the same route that we went with mine. He wants to put a light and stuff on here, so what I was telling him is he could just screw it in with the bottom one and then kind of cut just a little bracket sort of like cut out for it, so then, you know, it's only bolted in with the bottom one, but once the light bracket goes on there, it should clamp it on and be pretty perfect. But obviously that's for down the road. But I was thinking that looks pretty cool, so we're gonna find some like screws to go and put it, you know, on there, and then I'll show you what it will look like if we end up going that route. Okay, so these are the engine bolts we're going to be using. They will perfectly slide down in there and go in the hole perfectly. And then we have these little lock washers to go up underneath of it, and then we have the nylon nut on there. So this will be mounted on there and it will be perfect. Okay, so we just went and bolted in the motor. As you can see, all of them are bolted in. Still working on the spacing for the brake because it's not lining up fully, so we are probably going to have to go and get longer Allen bolts and then also maybe mess with the spacing again. We're not sure yet. Okay, so we were just doing this, and we actually have to go and get a longer Allen bolt and also some spacers. But in the meantime, while we are going to wait to go and do that, we are going to put the throttle assembly on right here. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so we have the throttle kind of all mounted up where we need it to go. We're still kind of adjusting the linkage and stuff as we go, but we kind of have it routed and stuff the way my dad wants it. And then he just went and put it in the carburetor. It's super duper simple. It just goes and the top part unscrews, and then the actual like black piece comes out with the spring, and then you just put it in there. It goes in pretty easily, and there's millions of videos of how to install the Mikuni and like how to put the linkage and stuff in it. But yeah, we got that done so far. Okay, so we just finally got the throttle the exact way my dad wants it, and then now it's all routed just the way he wants it. Oh look, GUIDO! Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Anyways, now we are going to be working on the brake, but in the meantime, while my dad was working on the brake, I went and put this little front cover on with all of the stickers my dad picked out to put on there, so that looks pretty cool. I think it looks like an older cafe racer style of bike because it's super small, and then also with the black piece with all the stickers makes it look super slick. Okay, so right now my dad is putting the nylon spacers in between the actual brake mount, and because we went and got some actual longer Allen bolts on there, so we had to put the spacers in there because we tried to get like the spacing in here perfect, but obviously it's going to be off just a little bit. So by putting some nylon spacers in there and getting longer bolts, it will actually make it hopefully be perfect. So we have the brake on there all tightened and spaced evenly, and it's literally perfect on there. And then now my dad is just putting zip ties on the actual cable so we can keep it from the ground and also route it a little bit nicer up here. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we're going to put some oil in it. We have SAE 10W30. This is the stuff that I think most mini bikes and small motors run, but that's what the Predator 212 calls for. And then we have some gas right here, and we're going to actually put some gas and some oil in the mini bike. Obviously we're not done with it because we still need to put the header pipe on there and the sprocket, obviously when those two things come, and then the chain, and then also the exhaust tip, but that's for a later date. But technically we can still start it right now, because if you have an exhaust pipe, it's just going to redirect the exhaust out that way, whereas this is just going to have it come out right here. But we are going to go and see if it starts, and we're going to see how it runs. Okay, so right now we're putting the oil in the motor, and then we're going to go to the gas. Okay, so now my dad is putting the gasoline into the mini bike and having it all fueled up. Okay, so we have the oil and gas in there. Everything should be ready to go. We have the kill switch off, so it should be ready. How many pulls do you think it's gonna take?
3.
3? I'm saying 4. And for anyone wondering, we went and kind of, oh my god. Damn, dude. Yo! Yo! Dude, it's back! Look at that! You see that? Damn! One bull, yeah! One bull. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so as I was saying before, he started this thing up and it was so loud. For anyone wondering, we actually pulled it like 3 times before this slow pulls, just to prime the motor and just get the oil everywhere on the pistons and everything, just, you know, so we don't start it up dry with the piston, you know, not having any oil on it, because we just put oil in it. But it was pretty insane with the flame coming out. We want a pipe on there because, you know, you want the exhaust fumes and stuff to come out, not just right there. As you can see, we have the bolts, or the little nuts on the studs right there, and actually it rattled one of them off because this thing vibrates so crazy.